I've been running a cafe with my husband. One day, my husband called me to the cafe after closing. Sitting next to him was a 20-year-old college student part-timer.
I got her pregnant. I want to take responsibility, so please, divorce me.
The college part-timer had a smug expression as my husband lowered his head and said those words. Pregnant? I was speechless, and the part-timer laughed and said, "You're just an old hag who can't get pregnant anymore. Get out of this shop. We'll manage this shop as a couple from now on."
She's right, so please divorce me.
Then I sighed and said, "All right, we can divorce, but we'll close the shop."
Huh? Close the shop? No, that's troublesome.
It's impossible, because that girl... After this, the foolish couple will experience hell. My name is Hazel Smith, a 38-year-old housewife. I've always dreamed of becoming a pastry chef. To fulfill that dream, I attended a vocational school while working part-time, learning pastry making and saving money for the shop's operating funds. After graduating from vocational school, I honed my skills at a French bakery and studied business management. During that time, I met Aaron at a business seminar, and he would later become my husband.
I aspire to become a barista and open a cafe in the future.
With similar dreams, Aaron and I hit it off, leading to conversations and eventually a relationship. After 2 years of dating, Aaron proposed to me.
Hazel, will you marry me and let's fulfill our dreams?
Huh?
Why don't we run a cafe with your cakes and my coffee? I'm sure it'll work out.
Yes, Aaron, let's do our best together. And so we were blessed by our families and got married. We actually started preparing to open the cafe by scouting for a location. But then, a problem arose. Huh? Aaron, you don't have any savings?
I used it all for the tuition fees to study abroad and become a barista.
So, Aaron didn't have any startup capital. I thought we'd each contribute half, so I was taken aback. But since we'd already signed the lease, we couldn't just stop. In the end, I had to cover all the startup costs and become the cafe's owner. I was amazed and worried that Aaron, who said he wanted to run the shop, had no savings. But we were already married, and his good nature was important for the cafe's success. So I convinced myself to start the cafe. Primarily, I handled the behind-the-scenes work like baking cakes and cooking, while Aaron manages customer service and making drinks as the manager. At the same time, Aaron and I started living together. There's a lot of prep and accounting work to do after the shop closes, so I'm busy all day. But since Aaron only works when he's at the cafe, he has plenty of free time. Despite this, he hardly does any housework. Hey, Aaron, you know I'm busy, right? Can't you at least vacuum or something? I said that to Aaron, who was lounging after work. Then Aaron immediately frowned.
Ugh, that's a hassle. I don't want to do that.
What are you saying? If nobody does it, the house will get messy, right? I'm busy, so help with the housework.
If you're going to complain so much, then just outsource the housework, you know? You could even hire a housekeeper or something.
I felt dizzy at Aaron's casual suggestion like it was nothing. You understand we're still just starting the cafe and don't have the luxury, right? We need to take care of things ourselves, at least our own affairs.
If you're going to complain so much, then you can do the housework until you're satisfied, you know? It's not a big deal to me if the room is dirty or if we argue every day, you know?
In this manner, Aaron was simply uncooperative with housework. Ultimately, amidst my busy days, I ended up bearing the bulk of the chores. As for the cafe, initially, foot traffic was sparse, but gradually, customers began to visit after it was featured on a famous blog saying the cakes were incredibly delicious. My cakes received great reviews, and I even had people saying, "I've become a loyal fan." On the other hand, Aaron actually had a handsome face. Moreover, with his friendly customer service, our cafe became known as a stylish cafe with delicious cakes and a handsome manager. 3 years into running the cafe, it had become quite popular. As for our private lives, actually there was one concern. That was our difficulty in conceiving a child. I was over 30 and starting to feel the desire for children. It seemed Aaron felt the same way as he started talking more about having kids. But despite our efforts, there was no sign of pregnancy.
If you're not getting pregnant, maybe the problem is with you?
My husband started saying such discontented things. I've been told that there's no problem with me getting pregnant. Why don't you go to the clinic and get tested?
There shouldn't be any problem with me. It's all your fault. I wanted kids, you know?
Him blaming me solely for our inability to have children was tough. And so, our relationship as a couple gradually cooled off. Meanwhile, the cafe reached its 5th anniversary. We received congratulations from regular customers, and outwardly we continued to run the shop as a happy couple. Around that time, the university student who had been working for us part-time for years decided to leave the job to pursue a career, so we had to find a new part-timer. As our cafe was stylish and popular, we quickly had applicants when we posted the job opening.
Ashley Murphy, 19 years old, a university student. This cafe has always been my dream.
Ashley, who applied for the part-time job, was a petite, adorable, and sociable girl.
She has experience in customer service and seems to be an influencer with many followers on social media, right? It could lead to more customers. Shouldn't we hire her?
Upon Aaron's suggestion, I decided to hire Ashley. Little did I know that this decision would lead to a major event later on. With Ashley on board, the cafe became even livelier. Ashley ran a social media account named Ash and had a large following. Her followers flocked to the cafe, and she would post about it on social media, attracting even more new customers. I hired a cooking assistant and focused on boosting business and managing while honing my skills. About 6 months after Ashley started working, Aaron started coming home later and later. He would say he was studying outside to improve his skills as a barista, but there were days when he would come home smelling of women's perfume. I began to grow suspicious of him. During that time, it became routine for me to leave the cafe in the evening, go to the rented kitchen, and prepare cakes. I always left the closing tasks to Aaron and went straight home, but one day I realized I had forgotten something at the shop. After closing, as I tried to open the backyard door from the employee entrance, I heard voices from inside.
Ron, thanks for your hard work today.
Thanks to you, Ashley, we had a lot of customers again today.
Is Aaron and the part-timer Ashley inside? And Ashley calls my husband Ron? They seem quite close. I started recording the conversation on my phone while listening outside the door.
Hey, Ron, when are you going to marry me?
Well, there are various things I need to consider.
Hey, hurry up and break up with that ugly woman and marry me instead. After all, I'm younger and cuter, right? Besides, I want to run this cafe with you, Ron. Let's get rid of that ugly woman quickly.
Don't say that. But of course, Ashley is cuter, right?
From inside, there were strange and disgusting sounds coming. I was furious at that moment. I've been suspecting since he's been coming home late recently, but I never imagined he was cheating with a college student part-time worker. And saying this to me, I'll never forgive him. As I listened with trembling ears, Ashley suddenly said,
If that ugly woman refuses, I will use the power of social media to crush this shop. Surely, even she would dislike that, right?
Oh, that's scary. But if we threaten her like that, she might also hand over the shop.
Right? I'm clever. Now, Ron, take care of me today, too.
Then the two of them started getting intimate in the backyard. I quietly ended the recording and left the scene. While secretly advancing my plan, I pretended to know nothing and continued to run the shop with Aaron. 2 months later, Aaron told me he had something to discuss and called me to the cafe after closing. Ashley was sitting next to my husband, grinning. "Aaron, what's this talk about? Why is your part-time girlfriend sitting next to you?" When I asked calmly, Ashley smirked nervously beside Aaron.
"Sorry, Hazel. I got her pregnant. I want to take responsibility, so please divorce me."
With Aaron lowering his head and saying that, Ashley had a smug expression on her face. Pregnant? I was speechless, and Ashley laughed as she said,
Aaron chose me over you, the old hag who couldn't get pregnant forever. You should leave this shop at once. We'll manage it as a couple from now on.
She's right. It was your fault that we couldn't have children after all. I want to live happily with Ashley and our child. So please, divorce me soon.
Upon hearing this, I sighed and said, Fine. But if we divorce, we'll close the shop.
Huh? Close the shop? No, that's not an option.
There's no other option, because if I refuse, that woman plans to use social media to ruin the shop, right? I absolutely don't want to hand over this shop to you two, but if I do, she'll destroy it. So closing it is the only option. As I said this, Aaron and Ashley looked shocked. Then I played the recording I made that day. They turned paler and paler.
What did you just say?
How dare you eavesdrop? It's distasteful.
What do you have to say? Anyway, as the owner of this cafe, I have the right to close it. Rather than handing it over to you two, I'd rather shut it down myself. With a calm expression, I continued.
Are you a demon? We're about to have a child. If you do that, we'll lose our source of income.
I don't care about that. Besides, you talk about having a child, but is it really yours? My bombshell statement left Aaron speechless.
Huh? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Even with all that, are you still confident that Ashley's child is yours? At that moment, I scattered several photos on the table. They showed Ashley entering a hotel with a man, and not just one. She had been dating multiple different men.
What is this?
Aaron looked at the photos in astonishment. Meanwhile, Ashley beside him had turned pale. I listened to your conversation and then had Ashley investigated. I found out she had been involved with more than 5 men in these past 2 months. It seems like everyone is a follower on social media, right, Ashley? With a smirk, I said that, and Ashley pursed her lips and went to Aaron.
This is a lie. This is your fabrication, you old hag. Aaron, don't believe her.
But, hey, Ashley, isn't this Kay, the influencer guy? I can't believe this is fabricated. Explain yourself properly.
That's why I told you it's different.
Ashley shouted in a high-pitched voice, beginning to scratch her head. It was a far cry from the cute influencer she portrayed.
Hey, old hag, what gives you the right to investigate me? There are things you can do and things you can't do.
I can say the same thing to you.
Your sanctimonious act really pisses me off. Just so you know, with the power of my social media, I can ruin you in an instant. Remember that, you hag.
Indeed, the power of social media is quite something. I already have 20,000 viewers.
Huh?
I smiled and showed my phone screen to Ashley. These words were flashing there. The manager's husband has been stolen by a part-time worker and influencer. I'm broadcasting the scene of infidelity live.
Huh? Wait, what's this?
I've been broadcasting today's discussion in real time on my Instagram from the beginning. All your relationships and dirty words have been seen by 20,000 viewers.
No!
Meanwhile, the screen was filled with intense comments. Ash acts cute, but her true colors are like this? Gross. Surprised that Ash was involved with the influencer Kay. Isn't it unthinkable for the manager to get involved with a 20-year-old part-timer? Watching this, Ashley started trembling violently, screaming, and ran out of the store. Left behind were Aaron, dumbfounded, and me. After cutting the broadcast, I said to Aaron, Ashley left. Shouldn't you go after her?
No way.
Aaron suddenly stood up and slammed his hands on the table.
I was drawn to a young woman, but I was deceived. I didn't think Ashley would be such a deceptive woman.
So what?
Please, Hazel, it's just you and me. Let's start over. Let's run this cafe together again. I love you, Hazel.
No way, idiot.
Huh?
I caught Aaron off, surprised. You think I'd start this cafe with you again? Don't be ridiculous. I'm closing it down. You and I are getting divorced. And I'm demanding plenty of compensation, so be prepared.
That's...
Disheartened, Aaron was left behind as I walked away from the scene. After that, Aaron and I got divorced. The $30,000 for the infidelity was quickly paid, and I was able to win a significant portion of the property division. I also demanded alimony from Ashley. Fortunately, I received the payment. After the incident, Ashley's true nature became known nationwide, and her social media was ablaze. She had to quit college and delete her social media accounts. Apparently, she gave birth later on, but it seems the child wasn't Aaron's, and they broke up. She was even ostracized by her parents and had to raise her child alone from then on. Ashley became infamous in a bad way. Consequently, she couldn't work in customer service and is now desperately working in a high-rise office job to support her child. As for Aaron, since the cafe closed down, he became unemployed. He also became famous as the cheating husband who got involved with a part-timer college girl, so he couldn't find work as a barista. He now lives in a shabby apartment and works part-time. So it seems that after that, he underwent testing and apparently found out that he can't conceive a child. He tried to reconcile again, but I mercilessly blocked his calls. The fall from grace from being the handsome manager of a popular cafe must have been tough for him. But I showed no mercy. As for me, I closed down the cafe and used the money I saved along with the compensation to start a new cake shop. Regulars from the cafe days also started coming by, and within a year it became quite popular. Moving forward, I want to continue working hard while actively pursuing my own happiness.